I'm so sorry about the crickets, but my god, like maybe that's how dead this channel is inside. The fucking crickets. I'm actually on Madden right now. I'm gonna like hop on there after this and maybe try to grind some stuff out before I make a video. Um, I kind of want to try to get that 84 overall little thingy majig. Um, Let me see here. What was I gonna say? Okay, we're gonna get into Dexter, a new series I started watching. It's not new; it came out like 15 years ago, but it's a really critically acclaimed episode. It is a Showtime or critically acclaimed show. It is a Showtime show, and I'm excited for it because we're going through the mindset of a what seems like a normal guy with some weird tendencies. We have a blood splatter expert for the police. He's like a forensics guy. And it turns out that he is a serial killer himself, and he kind of like learned from blood splatter, and he learned how to cover his tracks as a killer, and he is very successful at that. So that's kind of what the whole gist is of the show. So Dexter Morgan stalks Miami's Ocean Drive and kidnaps Mike Donovan, a local pastor. So this is kind of the opening scene of the show. Dexter takes Donovan to a remote cabin in the Everglades where he confronts Donovan with evidence of the latter's serial murders of young boys. After being sedated, Donovan awakes to find himself strapped to a table. By the way, he is naked. Dexter always strips the clothes, probably because of fingerprints or something like that. Um, it'd be weird if he was always walking around with the gloves on. Um, so after being sedated, or wait, Dexter collects a sample of Donovan's blood before he proceeds to kill him. That's what he does with all of his victims. He gets the blood sample, so he can like study blood and like how it dries for his job, kind of too. It's some homework, but it's some very illegal homework. So, uh, after dumping the remains, Dexter narrates that he is not sure why he feels the need to kill and believes he is emotionally detached from other people. He's very socially outcast, yet the character looks kind of charismatic and charming. So I don't know, maybe they casted him wrong. He does have like the Jeffrey Dahmer type of look. You know, not all killers have to be losers and whatnot. I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer was like a ladies' man. He was kind of gay, but he was a ladies' man. You know, ladies loved him. He was a very like good-looking man, I guess. You could say that about like Patrick Bateman in American Psycho. Maybe I'm wrong here. A lot of serial killers aren't what you would expect them to be, I guess, and that's Dexter Morgan's case here. It's a serial killer TV show. We don't see that air on TV that often. Um, Back at his apartment, he stores the microscopic slide containing Donovan's blood and a case containing other samples. So then we learn he's a serial killer. He's done it multiple times. Um, he explains that he kills according to a moral code taught to him by his foster father, Harry Morgan, who, as a Miami police detective, taught Dexter to kill only those who deserve it. So most of the people that Dexter kill, they deserve it. But obviously, he shouldn't be the one to kill them. Law enforcement should be the one. He is a part of law enforcement. So I don't know. Maybe it gets tricky. Maybe it's tricky territory. Um, Flashbacks reveal that Harry first decided to impart these lessons upon Dexter after discovering that the boy has been killing neighborhood pets. Only kill the ones that deserve it. You know, neighborhood pets, that's not really justifiable. You're just killing animals for no reason, right? So Dexter is contacted by his foster sister Deborah, played by Jennifer Carpenter. Very beautiful woman. Oh my god. A vice officer in the Miami Metro Police Department. So they're kind of connected together, siblings, in the law enforcement. It's cool. Dexter, a blood spatter analyst for the department, assists Deborah in investigating an apparent serial killer targeting prostitutes. Yeah, it's weird. Dexter examines the latest victim and is shocked to find no trace of blood on the dismembered corpse. I mean, he's a serial killer himself, and he is just astounded by how good this killer was at leaving tracks. There's not a lot of serial killers that get away with it for long because obviously they're very traceable. And he realizes, oh my god, this is untraceable. I wish I could be this masterful. He kind of is that masterful, though. I don't know what I'm talking about. What else? At the police station, he discusses another murder case being handled by James Dokes, played by Eric King, a detective who dislikes him. He gets like some suspicions. He's like, "You creep me out, man." He's kind of a funny character. I really like him. I think I'm gonna grow to like him as the series kind of rolls on here. This is just the pilot. There are 8 seasons of this show, so yeah, we have a lot to watch. Later, Dexter watches Jamie Jaworski, a murderer who escaped justice due to a faulty warrant, and breaks into his home to find evidence. Yeah, he's going to try to turn him into the feds, so he has no competition on the market, pretty much. Like, Dexter's trying to... He does this job not only because he's fascinated by blood splatter. He's trying to clear everyone's names out there, so he's kind of the prominent killer. He's the one carrying out the killings, and there's just this psychopathic thing about him where he's like, I want to be the best serial killer. I want to leave no traces. Like, it's really, really crazy. Once he confirms that Jaworski is guilty, Dexter meets with his girlfriend Rita Bennett, played by Julie Benz, a former victim of domestic abuse. Rita has 2 children, Aster and Cody, so we kind of learn about this character, and her and Dexter kind of bond over the fact that they've both gone through some pretty traumatic experiences. They're both kind of broken humans inside. She doesn't know that Dexter's a serial killer, at least, or does she? I don't know. I don't think she does, no. That wouldn't make sense. She wouldn't want to date a serial killer. No one would. I mean, that's just not even, like, humane at all. That's not human. So while on a date with Rita, Dexter finds another murder scene with no traces of blood, this time with the victim's head missing. So it's a Friday night. You know, they're kind of going out on a date, and he gets called to this murder scene kind of nearby in the neighborhood. And no head this time. So the serial killer is, like, taking on different patterns in fear that obviously law enforcement's cracking down on him. Or her, whatever, whichever. Dexter theorizes that the killer murders his victims in extreme cold, explaining the absence of blood, and might be using a stolen refrigerated truck. I mean, obviously, they don't know this, but his experience as a serial killer really helps the feds kind of get on people's cases, except for his, obviously. What the fuck? I think there's going to be some crazy things. This really reminds me of Breaking Bad, although this guy has been kind of twisted all along. Walter White theoretically was kind of twisted all along as well, but I think this guy, it's kind of different. Like, he was a psychopath. I don't know. Dexter allows Deborah to pitch the theory, but their superior officer, Lieutenant Maria LaGuerta, played by Lauren Velez, dismisses it, calls it stupid. You know, I don't believe you. That whole trope is annoying, but it happens. So Dexter captures Jaworski, who admits his guilt and explains that he has no remorse for his act. Dexter responds by saying he has no remorse for what he is going to do to him, as he has no remorse for killing any of his other victims, because in some sense it's justifiable, just not in the way it's executed. I'm not justifying murder here. There are some justifiable murders in TV shows, but most of these aren't really justifiable to a high extent. After killing Jaworski, he drives to see Rita, but is sidetracked when he sees a refrigerated truck. What a damn coincidence. Dexter follows the truck, and the driver throws a severed head at his car, possibly the head from the scene from that Friday night when he was on the date. The killer is just playing mind games with this guy, and it kind of like throws Dexter into a little bit of a fit of rage. He's like, what the hell? Is this guy mocking me? Does he know I'm a serial killer? Are we like competitors at who's the best serial killer? I didn't know that's a thing, to be honest with you guys. Dexter arrives at Rita's apartment, where Rita, despite previously expressing no interest in sex due to her history of abuse, expresses interest in taking the relationship to a more intimate level. She realizes that, you know, that comes with a lot of relationships, and she needs to kind of get over her past. I know it's very traumatizing, but obviously she kind of needs to get over it, type thing. Dexter feels uncomfortable and is saved when Cody gets sick next door and needs his mother to pick him up. So despite, you know, the masculine urges of Dexter kind of like trying to... I'm not even going to go to detail. Reaching down low, the low blow. Should I call it the low blow? I don't know. Despite that, you know, he, after the situation, he instantly kind of regrets it. Yeah, he regrets it. And then, now he just feels uncomfortable because she's giving him what he wants, but it's not necessarily what he wants. So it's just kind of instinct to touch her in that way before. When Dexter arrives home, he finds a doll's head on his refrigerator door. Inside the freezer, he finds the other parts of the doll severed, just like the bloodless bodies of the dead women. So again, we could see a rivalry between the serial killer and himself. Dexter views the doll as an invitation to play, which he accepts gladly. My God, what a storyline that's going to set up as. This is crazy. Generally positive reviews of the pilot. Bold, different, and exciting, with a central character and performance that take your breath away. Hall's performance pretty dynamic, Emmy-worthy. The narration is indispensable and haunting. To deny yourself the engrossing Dexter based on its subject matter would be to miss out on one of television's most fiendishly intelligent new dramas for the time. The series' black comedy aspects were infused with the most pitch dark irony on television. Hall's performance was great. His ability to make Dexter a likable character as a serial killer. The set designs, the crime scenes were kind of like a Vanity Fair photo spread. That's kind of what people were thinking. Some people were unimpressed with the character of Dexter. The show meticulously and dubiously qualifies its twisted gimmick, asking us to put stock in a serial killer. Yikes, only to reveal that he murders only those who have taken from society. Aww. So a wholesome murder, right? It doesn't sound like a good idea. So you're criticizing this show for doing what Breaking Bad did, pretty much. So you don't like Breaking Bad, I don't like you. So that's honestly a terrible critic in the beginning. You take a normal person, you turn him into a villain, and you get everyone to like him. Because there's something about him that makes you like him with his crimes. He has a good motivation. A good motivation in Walter's case, right? He did it for the family. Wrong. That was kind of a stab in the back now that I think about it. Dexter's narration is trite, fails to say anything that the good acting does not already convey. The hippest looking killer since American Psycho's Patrick Bateman. What is wrong with Patrick Bateman? Are you serious? Oh my God. What makes the series work so well is twofold. Hall is magnificent. It's another sterling performance from him, but instead of being pent up yet emotionally positive, like his David Fisher on 6 Feet Under, he's cool and calculated and entirely without compassion as Dexter. That makes him alluring in a strange way. I mean, okay. He's among the more compelling characters on the small screen. Dexter is a cross between Hannibal Lecter and Claire Starling. He is a vigilante obsessive murderer with a slippery personality, but also a hero of sorts. That's a pretty good way of describing him. The episode did not quite meet its expectations, and in a reversal of the Dexter's narration is necessary but grating. Hall's performance is distinct from his character in 6 Feet Under. Dexter, despite its sick flaws, is yet another reason why Sunday night is one of my favorite nights to watch TV. That's just reviews from the time. 9 out of 10 on IGN. Outstanding. And the narration was cool. It is creepy is the only way that the audience can come to know Dexter or understand the reasoning behind his actions, and Dexter successfully inhabits a moral gray area. Mike Donovan, third on the list of Dexter's top 10 kills. Wow, already. That's what people say. He wasn't Dexter's first dead body, but he was our televisual introduction into Dexter's wicked world of rage and reckoning. This show is the best new psychodrama of 2006. Is it like one of the only new ones? I mean, of that time? I don't know. That's a weird category. 9 out of 10 on TV Squad. This show is legit, well worth watching. Hall's performance is moving, chameleon-like between different personas. Some of the supporting cast nonetheless managed to steal some of the scenes. The flashback scenes of Dexter as a child were a highlight and key to making the character sympathetic. The strength of the supporting cast. Yeah, that's what a good show needs, is a supporting cast. It's one of the most important things and one of the most slept on things at the same time. Despite the controversial subject matter, the gore in the episode is not significantly worse than that seen on popular programs such as House and the various CSI shows. We will get into some negative reviews now. The pilot was average, containing fashionable gore, occasionally witty dialogue, serviceable suspense, and boilerplate police department politics. The series was a superhero tale rather than the dark comedy, police thriller, and brooding drama that it was promoted to be. A comedy. I'm not mad. Wait. A superhero tale. People didn't think that Dexter would impress critics. Antics of the deranged aren't really all that pleasant to watch. I think they are. I think it's fascinating to like look at what a serial killer does every day, you know? Hall's acting was great. He quickly dispatches any thoughts of a 6 feet character, which by itself represents quite an accomplishment. While the show's usage of gore is relatively restrained, conceptually it is sometimes distasteful rather than edgy. The grotesqueries of Dexter are not something that can be easily dismissed with the old "you don't have to watch" line. We don't have to watch. We do have to live among the viewers who will be desensitized or aroused by the show. There's some fair points, but I think the show can stack up to be something. I mean, I like the whole superhero arc anyway. I like the fact that a serial killer can be a superhero in a show. I think that's really cool. I don't think any TV series has like gone in that direction anyway, like at all. But leave a like, comment, and subscribe. As always, GZTV. I'm gonna try to take a nap sometime today, probably now, to be honest. We might play a couple of games of Madden. I'm not quite sure. I am kind of tired, but I had to get those videos out for you guys.